Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Today I wanted to share a really simple, clean, fun card, very cheerful, that I made using a bunch of scraps. I struggle with scraps. I have a huge pile of white offcuts from card bases and different colored cardstock that I used. And so I used my scraps to cut all these little yellow and blue flowers. The green foliage is actually cut out of the inside of the mat layer. I gutted that cardstock. And then there's these white strips to kind of make a little bit of a lattice pattern as a background decoration, and then just an embossing folder. It goes together super fast, especially once you get the little flowers and the foliage and the strips cut. But you can do all of these little flowers and strips ahead of time and have a big pile of them, and then sit there and you could batch make these cards. You could probably make a card in, I don't know, 2 minutes once you have all of the other stuff done, the little things cut. So cut all of your scraps up into these little pieces. Get a little plastic storage container. I have some from the Dollar Tree that I bought, and I just, when I'm kind of lost for something to do, or I'm watching a show on TV and I'm watching, a craft show or something, and I'm kind of want a mindless activity to do, I cut all these little flowers and store them away for cards just like this. So let me show you how it's made. I started by taking, it's a 5x7 card base, and then I just cut a mat layer, and as you can see, I gutted it out because I used that same green for the foliage. And I'm going to put that on, and then I cut a piece of card that's 4 3/4 or just shy of 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And I ran it through an embossing folder, and this particular embossing folder is from Crafter's Companion. It's the Arabian Nights mosaic tiles. See, I've gotten smarter, and I'm writing on them what they are because I can never remember, and I always get asked. So I'm trying to remember to write them all down. So let me go ahead and mat this up, and then we'll go on to the next step. And I almost forgot. I put my green mat on, and I was just about ready to put this on. You can see I even put the glue on the back already, but I got to put my trellis pieces on first. So what I did, this is a great, as I said, this is a great way to use up scraps, because I have a bunch of these little, I have literally piles of white scraps that look like this, from cutting down card bases, cutting down 5x7 panels, all of this stuff. So what I did is I just took some of my scraps, that's just why they're all in different lengths, and I cut them into 1/2-inch strips. And I'm just going to lay these out on the front of my card base in whatever pattern I like. So I'm going to put one here. I don't want to put it corner to corner because I don't like the looks of the corner. I think I'm just going to kind of concentrate them down here because I love that embossing folder and I want it to show. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there, and go ahead and put your first one on. So glue your first one on, and it doesn't matter where, you just put it wherever, wherever you want it. So we're going to put it about there to there. And I'm intentionally doing the white on white. Now you could raise this up on foam tape if you wanted. I didn't, because I was trying to be quick. And then I'm just going to trim off the edge. Now you could trim off all the edges at the end if you want, but I didn't do it that way because I'm going to use this piece as my guide. So then I want them 1/2 inch apart. So take that 1/2-inch strip and lay it next to it. And we're going to, well, actually, I'm going to put the other one on this way. Now, if you alternate directions, it'll give you sort of that crosshatch look where it looks like things are over and under a little bit. So we're going to put one on about there. And it's not really going to matter that much because it's honestly not going to show. So you could do them all in one direction, and I don't think it really makes any difference. But this way, now I'm going to put my 1/2-inch piece on there and kind of butt it up against that one. And then I'll take my strip and I'm going to lay it next to it, up against it, and that will make them exactly 1/2 inch apart. And so that's how you get some of the uniformity that you want. Now you can just eyeball it. And honestly, since you put flowers over the top, it probably would be fine to just eyeball it, but I'm going to do it like that. And take that one out. Okay. And then we're going to put one down here. So again, I'm going to put my little strip in. And someday if you just, don't have anything to do or want something, a way to kill time, take all your little white scraps and cut them into these little 1/2-inch strips, or cut them into strips, and you can use it for this. The other thing I use my little white strips for is sentiments. So you can take your white strips, stamp some sentiments on it, and then set them aside and use some sentiments that you use often. And then you'll have them ready when you need them. And then we'll go ahead and do one more this direction. And you can see by going back and forth, you get a little bit of a cross pattern, which I kind of like. And I think I might just leave it at that. I'm going to trim them all off. There you go. It gives you a nice little cross hatch pattern on top of your embossed pattern, which I think is pretty interesting. It just adds a little more interest, visual interest, to your card. And then we're going to put this on top of my green, just like that. Okay, and then I've got a bunch of foliage. And again, I'm using my scraps. This is the center of that green card. And then these are just, I had some blue scraps that I had left over from a different project, and some yellow, the same. And I just cut these little miniature flowers. And I got these little flower dies. You get these little flower dies in just about everything. But I happened to find a set. Where is it? There they are. From Elizabeth Craft Designs. And it's all these little tiny flowers and foliage. And look how small they are. That's what these are. And the foliage as well. And I love these little tiny flowers for a project like this, or just for filler in between other larger flowers. Because my original idea was to use these bigger flowers, and I can't decide. I wasn't crazy about them. I think they're kind of large. I liked the idea of small ones, so I think I'm going to try it. So I'm going to try the small ones, and we're just going to put on some foliage, kind of tuck it in and around, and then I'll tuck the flowers in around the foliage. Okay, and that's it, all done. So I think it's a really very simple card. It's a great way to use up scraps, because this yellow and blue is scraps. The green was it was the matte layer was cut from the inside of that. And then I just had a 1 5x7 piece of the white card, and then I just cut these white strips, and you can add a sentiment up here or down here, or just leave it as is, as kind of a really nice little fun, pretty card. So super easy to make, fairly quick, and you can cut all of this stuff ahead of time. Love these little flower dies and the paper strips for using up scraps. So thanks for watching.